Gets the run through on Rimfire, and it's a stride by stride race to the post. Neck to neck they race, Rimfire and Darkman, and it's a camera finish. I can't rate them, Rimfire and Darkman.
Racing fast has got to the front here from Gay Helios. In third placing is Prince Noble, and here comes Helion with a great run. But Rising Fast with 100 yards to go is going to win the Melbourne Cup.
Never seen a race like this in my life. Happy Union is still the leader. Down the outside, Vanderham. And what's this one? Greatness, it could be right down the extreme outside, and Golden Black too.
My Saravon coming home strongly on the outside. Kingston Town, Port Carling, and Gurner's Lane on the inside might beat them all. Gurner's Lane has got up to win the cup. He came through to beat Kingston Town and Nick.
Veloso making some sort of a run, and Kiwi late. It's going to be close here. Kiwi's going to beat them all with a mighty run. Kiwi swamps them on the line, and Kiwi's won at a length and a half to Noble Comment. 200 to go, and Butternut and Coiro Corrie May got to our boyfriend. What a nuisance coming at them. Here's Tripsingham with a late run, but might be too late. What a nuisance, and Coiro Corrie May. They're hit it together. What a nuisance, won the cup.
Let's Alive was raced up now to Ivory Way, and Overhampton Magnolia Hall superimposed, but the favourite has raced away in the Melbourne Cup. It's Let's Alive. This great mare has raced away from Ivory Way, superimposed, and then Magnolia Hall, and Shiva's Revenge, but Let's Alive has won the Melbourne Cup.
Damien Oliver de Remus and Nothing Like a Dane come away at the 200-metre mark, and de Remus is finding plenty. He's kicked away 2.5 in front of Nothing Like a Dane. Quick Ransom and Vintage Crop, but it's de Remus nicely clear in the Melbourne Cup. He's got the cup run. He's holding Nothing Like a Dane, and de Remus wins the cup.
It's Central Park, the leader, Rogan Josh coming out after him. It's Central Park and Rogan Josh. Central Park, Rogan Josh. Bart's got his 11th. Rogan Josh wins the cup from Central Park.
I'm John Vertigan. Welcome to Sport 97's coverage of the 2000 Foster's Melbourne Cup. We now take you live to Flemington Racecourse and Brian Martin.
And a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, here at Flemington, we're not far off the Melbourne Cup of the year 2000 of $3.3 million in prize money. The runners are just about, yes, they're about to enter the mounting yard, and they're led in by the grand stayer from Ireland, Vintage Crop. Vintage Crop will bring the field into the parade ring before what must be a record house here under magnificent sunny skies and a perfect day for racing. The Melbourne Cup for the year 2000. Joining me is Wayne Wilson. Welcome, Wayne.
Thank you, Brian. You've described it brilliantly. It is a perfect day and a massive crowd here at Flemington, and just great to see Vintage Crop leading them up into the enclosure. Maybe he's here to lend a little support to his Northern Hemisphere colleagues.
Well, he came out here, of course, in 1993, and he took the race. He had a couple of tries at the Melbourne Cup. One other occasion, he was pretty unlucky when he ran third. But it's interesting to see that he's leading out the imported horses here in Zelly, Far Cry and Arctic Owl, numbers 1, 2 and 3. They follow the great old Irish stayer Vintage Crop. And the first thing that we notice is that the imports are well behaved. They're well controlled. They're handling the moment at the moment as we speak. In Zelly, there's no interest in this horse at all, raced by Lloyd Williams and Kerry Packer. He continues to get out in the betting. Far Cry is moving in a point. Arctic Owl is easy in the market. But Wayne, the one that they want to back all day is the horse bred in New Zealand. The New Zealand breds have won 29 of the last 50 Melbourne Cups, and the horse I talk of is Carpstab Way.
A lot of support for him, Brian. I think just general public support forcing his price in here at the track. He's got that query against him at the end of 3,200 metres, but the acceleration factor was so high in the Caulfield Cup. And with that 2.5 kilo weight pull over diatribe, I think he's got an outstanding chance of winning the race today. The conditions are right for him. The good firm track. They're running fast times here at Flemington today. I think we'll see that acceleration at the end, and I think he'll be very, very hard to hold off.
Yes, you probably look at his pedigree and you wonder, can he get the 3,200? He's New Zealand bred. He's by Carpstab Way. He's not renowned for getting them to run beyond probably 2,400 metres, but you had to be taken by the eye-catching performance. And the horses who have been finishing on in Caulfield Cups down through the years, and the winners of the Caulfield Cup, have always run so well at Flemington.
That's right. That's the good form guide to the Melbourne Cup, isn't it? The Caulfield Cup. I was talking to his breeder yesterday, Jeff Taylor from New Zealand. He owns the mare. He said he's a blood brother to Saintly. Saintly handled the 3,200 metres of the Melbourne Cup quite okay, and he's confident, knowing the family as intimately as he does. Jeff Taylor, I'm talking talking about, that he believes Carpstad Way will handle the 3,200 metres. But until they do it, Brian, under these conditions, these are the toughest conditions in the world, the 3,200 metres of the Melbourne Cup. There's no other race like it in the world. You don't know until they do it.
No, you're exactly right.
Moving up Adelaide.
Number 2, Far Cry, who's meeting support. In fact, he comes in another point. There's a marvellous story associated here. Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Bamford and Mr. and Mrs. Jim McGrath, both Australians, both Victorians. They've leased a third of this horse, Far Cry, for today's race. They've shared the costs with the owners who have the other 2/3, the cost of bringing the horse here. The figures probably work out at around $100,000 Australian to get a horse here to get him to the post for this race. So it's no cheap shout. It's a costly exercise. And Mr. and Mrs. Bamford, Mr. and Mrs. McGrath from Melbourne have leased a third of this horse. They've rented the horse just for the day.
That'd be a wonderful story if
Wouldn't
you could
it
salute
ever?
for him.
Wouldn't it ever?
What do you think about Far Cry, Brian? And I don't suppose we're going to know until they hit the post the first time whether he's got sufficient speed to go to the lead, establish a break and determine the pace of the race. But all the feel you get from the Far Cry crew indicates that they're going to ride him aggressively today. They're going to look for the lead in the early stages of the race, then perhaps give him a breather. But he's a grand stayer, as he's proven over in the Northern Hemisphere in the United Kingdom. And if things work out the way they want them to work out, he's a definite chance of leading all of the way.
Yeah.
I'm Shilling Slater.
Very good support for the horse of the imported gallopers. They only want to back the one that's Far Cry, number 2.
Brian, interesting in the betting, I noticed yesterday at the call of the card there was 200,000 to 10,000 each way Brew. When I came onto the track today, 16 to 1, and Brew has firmed in a lot further in subsequent betting on the Melbourne Cup. Is Brew there with a real chance in this Cup today?
He doesn't have the class to win it, but he has the right form at the right time. The Saab quality was good on soft ground. His Mini Valley Gold Cup run was good when he ran second to Yippee-I-O. Again, it was soft ground. Cut in the track would probably bring him into calculations. He sits down there at the bottom weight. I don't know whether he represents a class enough to take the race. Now, the other one that's coming in for good support here is Diatribe. He's moved in a point. And in the ring now, it's Carpstad Way, number 9 favourite from number 4, Diatribe. And with a lot of support, I can tell you quite clearly, there's 2 Far Cry out on the 3rd level along with Freemason. What about him? Is he a gunner? You saw him in Queensland win the Derby.
Yeah, well, he looked pretty good in Queensland. His run in the Caulfield Cup, I thought, was okay. Nowhere near as good as Carpstad's Way.
He went at the 1 pace.
Yep. He had the opportunity to get the same run that Diatribe got. Couldn't get there. Couldn't take that run. His run on Saturday was good. Look, he's got a genuine chance in the race. I just thought he would have been a little bit better with a little sting out of the ground as well.
Yeah, I think you could be right there. And what about the form of Diatribe? Quite often in this race in modern time, we ignore the form that's glowing there in front of us.
Yeah.
Record-breaking performance. Brilliant ride by Cassidy in the Caulfield Cup on Diatribe. And then chased that awesome mare behind in Sunline.
Does his pedigree lend himself to 3,200 metres?
Well, that's a query too.
Is he in the same category as Carpstad Way?
Well, we'll know in about 11 minutes from now. What's your top pick?
I'm going Carpstad Way, Brian.
Yeah.
I think he's got a great chance. If they ride Far Cry, as they've said they're going to ride him, burn him out, go to the lead, give him a breather, he might stick it out. I put him in as the danger, and Diatribe. I don't get any prizes for picking them in that order, but they look as though they're fairly clear-cut to me. And just in my heart, a little chance to Yippee-I-O. I've always had a soft spot for the horse. I don't think he's suited on a fast track as we've got today, but he's a great stayer and he's got no weight on his back.
Well, as we know, sentiment means so much in racing. This would be the most sentimental winner. The horse has virtually come back from death in Yippee-I-O. Thanks, Wayne. Good to have you with us in the broadcast here.
And we'll be back to the boys at Flemington shortly at Ascot, race number 2, numbers 1, 5 and 6. 1 Magic Heaven, 160, 1 Big One. The year 2000 Foster's Melbourne Cup.
Well, thank you, John. Yes, here we are, the Foster's Melbourne Cup, year 2000. As Brian mentioned, all the imports, when they left down here, they'd all paraded well. They were all nice and relaxed. I couldn't fault them in any way. My numbers will be 3, 13, 2 and 9. 3, 13, 2 and 9. The top here, Anzelli, he's a nice, relaxed horse. He paraded well. I couldn't fault his levels of fitness in any way. Far Cry, not all that big. He's beautiful and calm, a very, very relaxed horse. His coat probably wasn't as good as the other horses. Got the blinkers on for the first time. He's going to be an on-pace runner, and he is hard and fit. No worries of distance with him. Of the visitors, the best to parade was the 3 in Arctic Owl. He looked excellent. Big, strong fellow. He's 16 and a half hands high, and he looked outstanding in the yard. yard. Diatribe has come back good after his hard run in the Cox Plate. I thought that was a hard run, but he looks to have freshened up nicely. I couldn't fault him in any way. Freemason looks excellent, big, hard and very fit. Lightning Arrow, the other one of the visit here, Frankie Dettori on board. He's a plain chap, big and strong. His condition, his level of fitness was excellent. I couldn't fault there. Second Coming looks excellent, as does Coca Cabana. She doesn't carry any surplus at all. Big Capstad Way, the little question mark there at the 2,000 or 3,200. He's peaked at the right time. Geez, a fit horse. Marber Paul, he was sweating up a bit. He didn't look all that bright in the yard. He carries no surplus. He is very fit. The hind about the same. Yippee-I-O, the big boy. He paraded beautiful. He's lovely and bright in his coat. He looked extra well. Probably needs a bit of sting in the ground, but he did parade well. Love the look of the big fella, Behemoth. They've set him for this race. Everything's worked. The track's good. Distance is right. Everything's in his favour. Paraded a very, very fit horse. Our Unicorn, a bit of a plotter, but he's okay. 15 Pastor Express. He's a small chap, very fit, and he's very bright in himself. Skybow always looks well. Hill of Grace looks good here today. Don't know about the 3,200 with her, but she does look well. Citrus Prince, the 18, carries no surplus, hard and fit. He's up a bit in class here, a bit on the small side, but I must say he does look very well. Mr. Nelson has come through the Saab quality okay. He looks well. He probably needs a bit of softness in the track. Pravda's Riv right up. That's the 21. Celestial Show, she's got very light here. She's coming to the end of a tether by the look of it. She was sweating quite noticeably in the yard, and the 3,200 is probably going to be a bit of an assay for her. Maguire, the 23, is very fit. And the bottom weight here, set for the Melbourne Cup in number 24, Brew. He's drawn barrier 24. He's going to need some breaks here, but I can assure you he is a very fit horse. My thoughts on the Foster's Melbourne Cup for the year 2000. I've marked them in this order: 3, 13, 2 and 9. Thanks, John.
This is 103.9 Triple S Racing.
John, the runners just filing out now onto the track for the Cup of 2000. We couldn't get a better setting. The magnificent new grandstand was opened here on Derby Day. The crowd would exceed probably 105, 106,000. There's not a spare inch of room here. All vantage points are taken up. The flat over on the infield is getting larger and larger. They're spread right down to the 400-metre mark and down that far, even on the infield side of the track there, probably 8 to 10 deep as well. So the Melbourne Cup just continues to get on a scale that just seems to go through the roof year after year. And here we have this perfect day here in Melbourne. We're basking in sunshine with the temperature up around the 23, 24 degrees mark. The strappers have come out with their horses. The imported horses have a strapper either side. They're the 4, the top 3, and of course Lightning Arrow. And the Aussie strappers, just one strapper per horse, and the horses are now just being let off their elite straps, and they're just being allowed to stride down and canter down towards the starting gates for the Foster's Melbourne Cup. The favourite for the race clearly is number 9, Carpstad Way. The second pick is Diatribe. They're both well backed. Third pick in the race and well tried, number 2, Far Cry. Then Freemason, number 5. And a bit of interest coming in for Yippee-I-O now. Let's go down the page. The holdings now 24, close to 25 million for the win place. Matthew Jones.
Thank you, Brian and Zelly, for the Melbourne Cup at $22 and $7.90.
Before you do, Matt, Pravda is a bit of a problem coming onto the track, Pravda, and she has to come out rideless. Lance O'Sullivan, the jockey, is now running down the race here, but Pravda a little bit uptight, a little bit spooked, and she's being let out by the clerk of the course. She's just about to go through the gate here onto the track. Looks as though there's no problem there. And the 23 runners canter off for the Melbourne Cup down the page with Zelly, number 1.
Thank you, Brian and Zelly. $22.40, $7.90. Number 2, Far Cry, $11.50 and $4.30. 3 in the Melbourne Cup is Arctic Owl, $14 and $4.90. 4 Diatribe, tote favourite, $6.20 and $2.40. $6.20, $2.40 Diatribe. Freemason, number 5, $9.50, $3.60. Number 6, Lightning Arrow, $23 and $7.10. Number 7, Second Coming at $20 and $6 to place. 8, Coco Cabana, $16 and $4.60. Number 9, Carpstad Way, $6.40, $2.60. Second favourite on the tote. 10, Married Paul, one of the outsiders at $97 and $24. 11, The Hind, $43 and $12. 12, Yippee-I-O, $9 and $2.90. 13 in the Melbourne Cup is Behemoth at $13.20 and $4.20. Number 14, Our Unicorn, $135 to win, $33 the place. Number 15, Pastor Express, $55 and $16. 16 is Skybow at $70 and $16. Number 17, Hill of Grace, $32 and $9 to place. 18, Citrus Prince, $104 and $28. Majestic Avenue, the one scratching in the cup. Number 20, Mr. Nelson, 83. And for the place, showing around the $20 mark. Number 21, Pravda, at 85 and 24. Number 22, Celestial Show, 107 and 25. Number 23, Maguire, 152 and 36. And number 24, making up the field, is Brew at $18.05. He's right in the market, Brew. Now, Lance O'Sullivan is back aboard this horse, and that is Pravda, but he's just standing with the clerk of the course at the winning post, and the rest of the runners have headed down towards the stall, so we'll wait and see the verdict on Pravda at the moment. He's just standing with the clerk of the course in front of the winning post. We're 2 minutes away, 22 runners down at the stalls. Pravda, Lance O'Sullivan up in the irons, but at the moment the horse just standing down by the winning post. 6.20 Diatribe, 6.40 Carpstad Way, $9.10 Yippee-Ayo. Very open Melbourne Cup, and back shortly with a call from Brian Martin.
Correct weight in Adelaide for 7, 9 and 2.
Triple S, the good sports, and those triple approximates, 12 and 12 were the previous league winners, and the Melbourne Cup sub is number 4, Diatribe. Now, numbers 4 and 9, that's Diatribe and Carpstad Way, are showing $17,364. All other runners, $34,728. That is the treble approximates for Melbourne.
Back here at Flemington, there's a problem here with Pravda. The jockey got back up into the saddle when the mare came out onto the track, but she got as far as the winning post, and she will not budge. This mare from New Zealand, Pravda, she will not go to the start. O'Sullivan's out of the saddle. They've got her on the trot now, but as quickly she trots, she'll pull up, but at the moment she's moving. It's going to take an eternity to get her down there, just trotting at the moment. The other runners are down behind the gates. We're on starting time. Lightning Arrow being kept on the move behind the stalls. As I say, it's going to take an eternity at this pace. She won't get to go any quicker than basically walk speed. And the other runners are down there waiting. Yippee-Ayo and Nzeli on the move. So's Lightning Arrow. So I'd say they won't place them in for a while here, while they wait for this mare, Pravda, to actually walk down to the start. So the stewards and the starter, well, it's not in the starter's hands at the moment, it's in the hands of the stewards. It's a difficult position to place them in, but she's only walked from the winning post to the 100-metre mark now. And she's got to go down another basically 900 metres at walk speed. So they're giving her a chance to take her place, and this is the race, of course, Connections want to be a part of. Gosh, it's going to take a long time to get her down there. It's a weird side. It's a funny side more than anything else. The jock's sort of walking behind Lance O'Sullivan. Paul O'Sullivan's the trainer. Now, what's going to happen? They're going to leg Lance back into the saddle and just see if they can get her to shift at a quicker bat. So that's the roar from the crowd as Lance gets back into the saddle on Pravda. A couple of cracks behind the saddle. She won't move, and I'd say that the stewards are running out of patience with this mare. The other 22 runners are down at the gates. They await. And this temperamental lady from New Zealand will not have a part of it at all today. She was not so much stirred up, but she was just inquisitive when she came onto the track. She pricked up her ears. She looked at the winning post and said, that's as far as I want to go. So let's see, can they get her moving a little quicker here? They've got the strapper, the trainer out here. I think it might be Lance O'Sullivan, or the connections of the mare. Behind her, 2 Clarks. One's got a hold of a tail. We're past the starting time of the great race, and Pravda still won't budge. There's a small gate just by the steward's tower here that can be opened. They can bring her off the track if they're going to pull her out. And I'd say at this stage she's nearly in doubt. In fact, she'd be in grave doubt of taking her place, because at the moment she's virtually turned around and put her rump to the gates and said, well, I won't have any part of it. As we stand by for the national anthem here, Pravda will not move here on the track. So we have a problem. Other runners are being kept on the move. They'd be getting a little bit hot behind the gates at the moment. So this is the situation. She's starting to get a little bit flighty now. They've got her on the move a little. As quickly she starts to canter off, she stops. She went about 15 metres then. I think they're just running out of options here with Pravda to get it to take a place in the field for the Melbourne Cup for this year. Let's go down the tote just before they jump. $24-25 million barrier has gone through. Diatribe 6:30, Carbstad Way at 6:30. And as the national anthem rings out before well over 100,000 people here at Flemington, this mare from New Zealand, Pravda, has only moved 150 metres down the track, and surely they've given up on her. She'll have to come out. This is not fair on the other runners for this delay to continue, and I'd say that she's going to, if they could even get her to the gate, to get her off the track, because she just won't budge. And the stewards have to act now. They have to take this mare out because we're getting too far behind time. We've gone about 4 minutes past the race schedule time. And they might even have trouble even getting her off the track here. So we're just waiting for the direction to come down. But I think the jockey's just about given up. So have the attendants. Even Johnny Letts from Channel 10's come down to give a hand too with the two Clarks, but it's just not working at the moment. And I noticed that the division for the outside running rail is coming down by the steward's tower, and she's going to come out. Yeah, there she is. She wants to walk off the track. Now, you wouldn't believe it, would you? Here she comes, Pravda. She's going to come out of the Melbourne Cup. She'll be a late scratching. Pravda will be a late scratching from the Melbourne Cup.
Sub is number 4.
And the substitute will be Diatribe number 4. We'll wait for this officially, but Pravda would not go to the start. She was given every possible hope chance here by all attendants and the Clarks. And the warning siren sounding here at Flemington, and a very dejected Lance O'Sullivan walking down back into the mounting yard. And this mare has come off the track, and Pravda will be a late scratching at 3:24, number 21. 3:24 is the scratching time. By order of the stewards, Pravda is out of the Melbourne Cup. She wouldn't go to the start. And the substitute for the Cup is number 4, Diatribe. Diatribe, the substitute for the late scratching of Pravda. The gates are still empty behind other runners milling around behind the start. And the field will be called in. They'll have to move in pretty rapidly. Maguire getting a lead there. Young Luke Curry having his first ride in the Cup. Freemason, Larry Cassidy yet to win a Melbourne Cup. Jim Cassidy has won it twice with Might and Power and back with Kiwi. Damien Oliver, of course, with Doremus. Damien rides the favourite, and that's Carbstad Way. Jim Cassidy on the Diatribe. They were first and second home in the Caulfield Cup. And so the starting gates are about to be filled, and we're behind starting time as Maguire goes in. Maridpoor expected to go to the front. Here's Freemason going up to barrier number 2 now. Pastor Express away from the line with Coco Cabana. Freemason goes into stall number 2. Sky Bow, his 5th attempt at the Cup this year. And the gates are being filled. Mark Broadfoot, that's terrible luck for Connections of Pravda. She wouldn't cooperate today.
Very sad, Brian. I think you may find her going to her stud career after that effort, but it's a crying shame. But getting back to the race, Brian, most impressed with Freemason. He's really tightened up to perfection after he's running the McKinnon. And the one that really stood out in the yard, Brian, was one of the imports, Arctic Owl. What a magnificent animal.
Yeah, he certainly is, Mark. Thanks for that. We'll come to your track side as Lightning Arrow is about to come into the gates. Lightning Arrow just pulling back a little with Totori up. They went so close, the Godolphin colours last year with Central Park. And Zelly is ready. And the support continues for Carbstad Way, the favourite, number 9 for the Cup. Clear favourite. Bit of money for Yippee-Io and Bohemoth, numbers 12 and 13 late. Diatribe is solid. And good support for Far Cry. We're running late for the Melbourne Cup, but the gates are being filled. Freemasons. Stalls are back and they're off and running. And a great start too with Bohemoth and Freemason away quickly. Down on the inside, Maguire began well. Further out, Maridpoor is starting to travel up towards the lead with Hill of Grace. Behind us, just behind those with Lightning Arrow, Arctic Owl and Coco Cabana from the outside, and Mr. Nelson showing speed. Down to the 600-metre mark the first time, and it's Maguire with Far Call and wider out Maridpoor from Freemason. Lightning Arrow on the outside, Mr. Nelson and Coco Cabana. And further out on the track as our unicorn is very wide. When they come down the straight, back along the inside is Bohemoth. In front of it, then Pastor Express. getting a fair way back in the races in Zeli as they come down towards the 300-metre mark. And Maritpur has gone up now to take the lead from Mr. Nelson second. Third on the inside, Maguire. Far Cry is fourth. Fifth, Coco Cabana. Diatribe three deep around Lightning Arrow. On the inside, Freemason. Our Unicorns off the track from Pasture Express. Then Arctigal. Further back, Hill of Grace going out of the straight. They're followed back behind them by Brew. Then over on the inside is Yippee-Yi-Yo. Further back in the race, then Carpstad Way. Three behind him, Celestial Show, followed by Citrus Prince. Last of all is Skybow. Maritpur takes up the running at the 2,000-metre mark to lead by nearly a length to Mr. Nelson. Maguire is third and fourth on the outside. Far Cry. Our Unicorn fifth, but he's three deep, followed by Lightning Arrow. Freemason is over on the inside, a length further back, Pasture Express deep. Around Coco Cabana, Hill of Grace the inside. 2 lengths further back in the race, then came Arctigal. Diatribe is three deep. On the inside then, Yippee-Yi-Yo, 2 lengths further back, second coming. Outside the stablemate Proof from Bohemoth. Then Enzelian further back, Celestial Show, followed by Citrus Prince. Carpstad Way is back second last in the Cup, and out to the outside of it is Skybow. 1,400 metres to go. The field goes to the back, and the leader is still Maritpur. Maritpur a length in front. In second placing, moving up on the outside, Far Cry is prominent, so too is Maguire. And when they go to Chiquita Lodge along the back, it's Maritpur in front. Pasture Express has worked around the outside to take it on. 2 lengths Maguire third, followed by Our Unicorn. They're followed back in the middle by Far Cry fifth. Then Freemason sixth, followed by Mr. Nelson. Lightning Arrows off the track, and further back as Diatribe is wide, followed by Coco Cabana on the inside, Hill of Grace. A length for the back, second coming. Then Arctigal, well back in the race. Then came on the inside, Yippee-Yi-Yo. Citrus Prince from Brew. They're followed by Skybow. Carpstad Way, third last. Bohemoth, second last. And Celestial Show is last of all. 800 to go. Pasture Express went to the front. Maritpur dropped out, caused a bit of a chain reaction. Pasture Express in front with Diatribe and second coming, second and third. Then Citrus Prince when they turn for home. Far Cry has dropped out when they come around the home turn. Inside the 600-metre mark, Pasture Express second coming. Diatribe back in the middle. Citrus Prince further out, followed by the hind. Further back in the race then came Brew. Down the outside, here comes Carpstad Way with a run. Second coming has reached the lead in the Melbourne Cup at the 300-metre mark. On the outside of him is Brew, and down the outside Carpstad Way, and Yippee-Yi-Yo is winding up with a big run. Brew has hit the lead now. Yippee-Yi-Yo is after Brew, but Brew has got clear from second coming, and Yippee-Yi-Yo, it's Brew in front close to the line, and Brew has won the Melbourne Cup by 2 lengths. Yippee-Yi-Yo second, third is second coming or Carpstad Way. Then further back was Arctigal, followed by Freemason. Then Celestial Show, further back in the race, then Pasture Express. Well back there was Hill of Grace, followed by Skybow, Maguire the hind. Citrus Prince, followed by Diatribe. Enzeli, followed by Behemoth, Our Unicorn, Mr. Nelson, Coco Cabana, and the last two Lightning Arrow with Far Cry and Maritpur last of all in the Melbourne Cup.
Going to Brew, number 24, $16.90, $4.90, 12, Yippee-Yi-Yo, $2.90 for third, 7, second coming, $6, 9, Carpstad Way, $2.50.
Number 24, Brew. Brew has won the Melbourne Cup for Kieran McAvoy. Number 12 is second. Number 12, Yippee-Yi-Yo, Darren Beedman. And third is number 7, second coming, stablemate of the winner, ahead of number 9, and that is Carpstad Way, 24, 12 and 7. 24, 12 and 7 with Brew going up to second coming. Yippee-Yi-Yo, Carpstad Way weakening on his run, and the lightweight number 24 has dashed clear to take out the Melbourne Cup for the year 2000. Number 24. Number 24 is the winner. Number 24, Brew, for the teenager. Kieran McAvoy riding in the Melbourne Cup for the first time, winning the Saab Quality on Saturday. Before that, second in the Moonee Valley Gold